Hi, this is Shahab Ahmad, and today I'm starting my first interview series on Mindset News. So I would like to say welcome to all of you. 21st century entrepreneurship is about developing increasing revenue companies and other sort of social venture that add value beyond the conventional bottom line. Today we have here one of the most prominent entrepreneur figure in Pakistan and in fact in the world, mentioning some of the milestones that our guest has been achieved. He is the CEO of Bear Venture USA, founder of Ideagist, founding director of Minnesota Innovates, founding director of the Institute for Innovator and Entrepreneur Minnesota, is also the part of National Committee on Emerging Technology under the Digital Pakistan Initiative. Our honorable guest recently recognized by Pollen and AARP Amen as one of the 50 most inspiring and accomplished leader across Minnesota. Yes, we have today none other than Hassan Syed. Sir, thanks a lot for spending your time. How you are doing well in this pandemic?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Shahab, for having me.
People want to know about Hassan Syed, one of the most promising entrepreneur of the decade from Pakistan. Sir, if you would please share your journey with us.
My story is fairly long, as you can imagine. I started from a small city in Pakistan called Hyderabad, which at that time used to be the third largest city. I grew up there, I studied there, I learned computer in the early 80s, and I started my career from there in 1986 in computer technology. That was very early days of IT in Pakistan, and I remember, pretty much everybody who I knew would say, what's the future in computers? This is only for game playing, right? So, but Alhamdulillah, that was, a good step, despite the fact that there was not much education available at that time in computers. And I grew from there. I started my career with a simple programmer job. I did some programming. And then I went to, at that time, I got lucky and I went to the largest IT setup in private sector in Pakistan, and at that time it was Fateh Textile Group, and they had the largest setup, and I got there, and from there is just one step after another. I just kept learning and still learning.
Would you please give us a brief script of your journey as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. My first entrepreneurial activity started when I was in high school, or last days of my high school. I started bringing photocopy papers. At that time, photocopy machine was booming business, and in Hyderabad, everybody had to go to Karachi to get the photocopy paper. And the place I lived, there was a lot of photocopying machines, because my house was just in front of the session court in Hyderabad. So I basically went to Karachi to the paper market, and I would bring photocopy paper from Karachi, and I would sell it to the photocopy machine people here in Hyderabad. And I would, decent money. It's not a lot of money, but that was good, interesting start.
In that time?
At that time. I did not make a lot of money. I actually lost money because I didn't keep track of like how much I'm earning and how much I'm spending. So
that's important?
It's very important, but at that time, of course, a kid is starting, did not know the basic of the business. So lost some money, but that's okay.
So you have started business then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I started, right? So that was like my first taste. And that, as you can imagine, it was a failure in the sense that I lost money only because I spent that money. So it's not that I lose money, but I lost it in business. So it took me a long time then to basically think about starting another one.
How would you like to describe the importance of entrepreneurship in the future?
I think there are first of all, entrepreneurship is a mindset, right? So it's not like, you have to have a business to be an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur could be in a corporate sector. And I see the value for entrepreneurship is going to increase substantially, because pretty much all the professional jobs, in the US, as you know, and in Europe are now becoming what you call freelance jobs, or the gig economy. In the US it is called 1099, which is basically the form that you fill as an independent contractor for the tax. So it's a 1099 economy, which means that everybody who is in any professional career will have to be an entrepreneur.
Sir, your idea for uplifting the youth potential of Pakistan is highly acknowledged. What would you say about your aims for Pakistan youth in e-commerce?
So first of all, it's not just me. There are a lot of people who are dreaming this. So I'm not alone just saying that. But Pakistan, the way how we have right now our situation, Pakistan needs serious entrepreneurial intervention, because government or the private sector cannot create enough jobs for the young population that is coming into the job market every year. So that's the reality. In that reality, there are many areas where things are expanding. And so you can imagine that there are markets that are outside Pakistan that are expanding rapidly. Maybe Pakistan is behind, like artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain. These are the technologies that are growing fast outside Pakistan, and Pakistan can provide some talent to support that. However, within Pakistan, there are certain things that are going to grow substantially, because Pakistan has been like kind of behind the curve from everybody else, and e-commerce is one of them. And I think that of course, Corona is not something that we can say it's a great thing that happened. Of course, a million and a half people lost their lives so far, and still growing. Having said that, in Pakistan, there is a window of opportunity that opened. Because when I came in 2018 for the first time, and I started talking about digital incubation and doing this large scale entrepreneurial training and everything, everybody told me, Hassan Sahab, this is Pakistan, you cannot do online anything. Over here, you have to be classroom, everything has to be classroom. And I was totally amazed by why people are not thinking that a scale that we need to do it, we need to go online, we need to go digital. And so in February 2020, when we started a Startup Pakistan training program, I remember that was like the few weeks before Corona pandemic and the lockdown that happened in Pakistan. And then people, shifted their thinking, and it happened just in the past 10 months. You can see that now Pakistanis are more open to online, more open to digital.
Which factor is in your point of view, are still to be noticed and improved in Pakistani's education system in order to uplift the youth potential?
Everything. I mean, the system, and this is something that we need to understand, it's not the universities, first of all.
Okay.
It's the system in which we grow our children. So the system we grow our children is called a conformance-based society, where we tell our kids to just follow whatever you're told, right? So just follow what parents says, just follow what elders says, just follow what your mom said, just follow what your dad said, just follow what your teacher said. Don't ask, don't question their authority. Don't question why you're being asked to do whatever you're supposed to be doing. So by the time you're in the university, your brain is already conditioned to not ask questions, which is totally opposite to what the workforce in the future would need to do.
How to come out from that box?
Well, that's of course for everybody it's a journey, and everybody has to take that journey on their own.
But what's your suggestion?
My suggestion is start everything with why.
With why?
Don't take anything for granted. Start everything with why. Try it. Ask something. Just ask me to do something.
But that's the most irritating word. Why?
Exactly.
People are...
Exactly, because the society's culture is like that. I want you to be, just do whatever you are being told.
So how we can change that culture?
Exactly as I'm saying, asking why.
Why?
Now remember, kids are good at it. Kids are naturally design their brain to push the limit, the envelope, push the borders. Or you tell them don't touch it, they will just do like this. And then you say, no, don't touch it. And they will just little bit go back, and then they will just try to touch it again. Why? Because in their mind, these barriers are there to be broken. But then slowly, we are just telling them don't, until the point comes that they really can't think of. Now, you, as a grown-up, have a conscious mind, and you can make a conscious decision to break yourself free from the chains that are just in your brain. They don't exist. You can ask why. You can ask why to anybody. You can go to the judge and ask why. You can go to the prime minister and you can ask why. You can go to the president and ask why. Why not? Why not you can't ask why?
Sir, if you would tell us what the Ideagist is actually, and what manifesto do you hold for the younger generation future?
Ideagist, I started as, just one of those, light bulb moments as a site where people can come and share their ideas. And I still remember 8 years, almost 9 years ago. And it was just like for people to share ideas, and we launched the site, and nobody wanted to share their ideas. So we learned, of course, over time, why people share ideas, what do they do when they share their ideas, what is needed to be done, and what is the journey from an idea to something real, right? So Ideagist as a platform, our goal is to give everybody the ability to, for every idea that they have, to explore it, to work on it, to see if that idea is viable, to see if it is worth a while to spend your energy on that idea, right? So that's Ideagist. Now I ask people this question. I'm pretty sure you can, think of 10 ideas every day. What do you do with those ideas? For the most 9 out of 10 people, they don't do anything. Don't do anything.
So actually, Ideagist is like an idea bank?
Yes, I mean, you can say, so idea bank is like this: you think of an idea, and then you realize that this idea may not be possible right now because people are not ready. It needs a lot of education, so you can say, yes, hold that idea over there. But Ideagist is basically give you the power to follow your dream, to follow your idea through a step-by-step process.
In your understanding, what measures should be taken by the government in order to encourage the population of Pakistan to develop entrepreneur skills?
So when I came to Pakistan, 2018, I thought government should be doing everything. Of course, I was naive, thinking wrong. In Pakistan, government shouldn't be doing anything to encourage entrepreneurship, really. Government is really not capable of intervening in entrepreneurship at all.
Why?
Because the bureaucracy, the leadership actually don't understand what is needed to be done in order to be entrepreneurs. Very simple thing. As I said, that if you are thinking about a sound mind, if you are thinking about getting your next generation, giving them the ability to ask why, who would be they asking this question from? So how am I going to give you the power to ask me why? Because an entrepreneur is a free mind. An entrepreneur is a mind that is thinking innovatively. An entrepreneur is a mind that doesn't take things as they are. They look for where they can create value. So the problem is the government can go only as far. Now, government can create policies that help entrepreneurship. The government can create an environment that support entrepreneurs, but they cannot create the mindset just like that. I think that in Pakistan, if government would like to do something, they just say stay out of it.
That's a simple solution.
That's a simple solution, because wherever government gets into something, it just gets all destroyed, unfortunately. And it's very, as you can see, it's a serious thing that I'm saying. But this is, I'm saying, with 1.5 years of experience, going from every single door that I could think of in the government. So my request to the government is, please stay out, let entrepreneurs do their job, don't create hindrance, just give them the space. Let them do it and they will do it.
In your recent interview with ARY News, you have mentioned $5 billion project for the next 20 years. What are these projects related to? and what are your concerns for the Pakistani entrepreneurs in that regard?
Right. So my commitment to the government of Pakistan was to offer 1 million licenses of my platform worth $50 million, not 5 billion, $50 million. And my request from Usman Dar Saab and Imran Khan Saab at that time was to match the money in terms of technology that I'm investing with money that government would invest in the ecosystem, to give it to the universities so they can give it to the students and they can provide better incubation services to the students. So that's what my commitment was. I already fulfilled my commitment. I pledged in writing to the Prime Minister office. My letter is with the Prime Minister office, in which our company gave those licenses to the government of Pakistan. But that was not all of what my commitment was for Pakistan. After that, we started the Startup Pakistan program without a single penny from the government. We haven't taken any money. We are running full Startup Pakistan program by ourselves. There's no government engagement of any kind in which government is spending any money on Startup Pakistan. So far, since February till to date, my company and myself has funded everything that happened in Startup Pakistan. And in Startup Pakistan, we are not taking any money from the students. They're basically getting free training, free ideation, free incubation. So that's one commitment. The second commitment that I made was around emerging technologies. And on the emerging technologies side, my commitment was that in Pakistan, we will be building 12 science parks in 12 different cities, focusing on 7 emerging technologies. The emerging technologies that I had been lobbying or influencing across, and I'm really glad to see, for example, NUST recently took on the same thing that I had been suggesting, and I'm really glad that they did that, is artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, Internet of Things, augmented reality, the intelligent vehicles, and smart robots. These are 7 technologies that are going to have a cross-sector impact worldwide and will be creating around $50 trillion economy over the next 20 to 30 years. And Pakistan, as the 5th, 6th largest country in the world, 2nd largest youth population, should be taking a fair share of that economy. And that's where I made the commitment that we are going to establish these 12 science parks. I have met with the president. I'm in the president team on emerging technologies. I've met with the Prime Minister Imran Khan. I've presented him the model of these 12 science parks. Dr. Atta, I have presented to him, Minister for Science and Technology Fawad Chaudhry, Minister for IT Aminul Haq. They all are aware of this program, and I am already on the execution phase, just the beginning of the execution phase. So inshallah 2021, you'll be seeing serious activity, real on the ground work in that area. And that is also a serious commitment from my side and from my company side. So that's the second area where we are investing in Pakistan. The third area where we are investing, which is also very important, is emerging technologies training itself. So I'm building with the International Institute for Knowledge and Innovation in Washington, DC, a training program which is vocational for emerging technologies. Pakistan is focusing a lot on the academic side of emerging technologies, which is very good, especially artificial intelligence. But that is a longer term investment. Shorter term investment is that we give vocational training to students that they can start taking up jobs, freelancer jobs online in these emerging technologies. And that is, I think, where again in 2021 you'll be seeing the results of what we had been setting up in 2020. Unfortunately, Corona had been devastating for us, like many other people, with our people, with our revenue and everything else. So that we are going through a really tough time. But I'm pretty sure in 2021 we'll be inshallah seeing all these projects coming through.
As you can see, the rate of Pakistan-based entrepreneur is much low. How can we encourage our youth participation in the commerce of the 21st century?
So this is mindset. This is about giving people hope. You see, The reason why we are paralyzed or we don't do anything is because we don't have hope. Like, why should I go and get up if I know there's nothing in the kitchen? I'm hungry. What's the point in getting up and going into the kitchen, right? So if I, in my mind, has no hope that if I try to do something, I cannot do it, then literally I'm not going to do anything. And that's where Startup Pakistan is very specific, is to give 1 million students hope that entrepreneurship is the path, entrepreneurship is the way forward. We have already started seeing results. I mean, in 8 months, can you imagine that we started in February 2020? So this is December. By the end of October, we had over 50,000 students enrolled in our program. We had more than 4,000 students already completed their training. That makes us the largest entrepreneurship training program in Pakistan, number one. Second thing, that our incubation program right now, under the ideation phase, we have more than 1,000 students that are already working on their ideas. And do you know that makes us the largest incubation program in Pakistan? All the incubation centers and their total capacity combined together in Pakistan is 750. And Ideagist in 8 months get to that 1,000 mark. So our program all by itself is helping more entrepreneurs than all the incubation programs combined together. Now, of course, there are different levels. There are NIC, which is the top level, and the services are completely different from what we are offering. But imagining the size of Pakistan and the size of the opportunity with Pakistan youth, you cannot create programs which help 20, 30, 40, 50 students. You can't do that. We're talking about millions. I mean, how can you just make a program, I will do 30 students in a year or 50 students in a year? It doesn't even scratch the surface. Pakistan has a potential of having 250,000 to 300,000 startups a year. If we think of Pakistan just having 10% capacity to support, which is US, right? US total capacity 500,000 startups per year. In US it starts. You know what is the total incubation capacity of US? Supporting startups through incubations and acceleration? 50,000, which is 10%, right, of the 500,000. So if Pakistan needs similar capacity to support startups, then Pakistan needs 25,000 to 30,000 startups be supported by the incubation programs. Now, what is the number today? Guess.
I don't know, sir.
750. So the demand and the supply is, the gap is so big that you can't just go and start building buildings and, create new incubation programs in the old style. World has changed. We don't need buildings. There is no need to build any more buildings. There are enough buildings in Islamabad, empty. I can take you to the beautiful buildings, they're empty. And they're everywhere in Pakistan.
I agree with you.
So what's the point? Why do I want to build another building and put people in the room when they don't need? Today's technology entrepreneur doesn't need an office. That was old style thinking. I need a beautiful office. I need to tell people this is my office address. I don't mind. I say I work in a park. I work in my living room. I work in my bedroom. I can work anywhere. I can work at airport. I have had meetings at airport. Who cares? The old days, incubation centers used to say, we give space. We give internet connectivity. We give you services, right? These were the what you call value proposition. Space doesn't matter anymore. Why are we spending money on space when it doesn't matter? Only 2% of entrepreneurs in today's world believe that space is important to them. And I'm pretty sure that technology entrepreneurs, 0% believe that they need space. Then why are we spending money on space? 45% of all incubation cost in US alone goes into space. Why? Now comes the second, internet connectivity. Gone are the days when people needed high-speed internet and they had to go to some special facility for that. I have an internet connection here, you have everywhere. We walk around with 6-10 megabit per second connection in our cell phones, right? So what's the point? So internet connectivity gone. Here comes the third value proposition, services. What services? Every service is commoditized. It's everything's You can go online now, accounting services, legal services, design services, branding services, printing services, everything is online. Do you need an incubator for that, providing those services?
No.
Do you need to search somebody to who is going to do my accounting today? No. This is a different world. We need to think different. And we are not. We are going into the same thing. Government is spending more money on similar programs like NIC. There is an NIC extension program. So we're going to just go spend more money like that. This is not going to work. This is, unfortunately. And I'm a staunch supporter of incubation centers. Don't take me wrong. I think that the incubation centers are anchors. They create an ecosystem around them. They're important. But they cannot be taken as a silver bullet. They are not a silver bullet. They are not going to solve all the problems. So we need to be careful in how we are spreading our money, how we are investing wisely our money in different projects, not mesmerized by something and saying this is the solution. There is no single solution to all these things, and we have to diversify our thinking. And unfortunately, that is not happening in Pakistan.
I'm sorry for that, but let me ask you the last question. Sir, you are followed by millions of people dreaming to become successful like you in future, being on this platform with us today. What message do you have for them? At last, what message do you have for the youth of Pakistan?
Very good. First of all, millions of people don't follow me. So
That's
that is
1,000
a little exaggeration.
Oh, that's 1,000.
I don't know the number.
Okay.
I've never looked at the numbers.
Okay.
But anyways, it's good to hear that millions of people are following me. I don't know if they are. Here is the thing: Pakistan or any other place, we need to think of, in contemporary sense, disruption, not disturb, not destroy, not chaos. Disruption is controlled. So my message to Pakistani people and entrepreneurs all over the world, that you can bring change, you can do things, but when you're doing things, you should understand the theory of disruption. Look at the modern definition of disruption by Clayton Christensen. He defines the entrepreneurial disruption very clearly. And if you follow that, you can bring change. It doesn't matter how small or big you would like to grow. And for that, I will end my interview on this particular poetry from Allama Tibrizi. It's a very long time ago. He said this, and it's in Persian, and I tell this all the time, so a lot of people who know me have heard this 100 times. So he said, "Alame digar badastavar ke dar zere falak gar hazaran sal mimani hami ruz o shabast." That you build a new universe with your hand, okay? Because under this sky, if you lived 1,000 years, this is still going to be the same day and same night. So how are you going to build a new universe of your own? Even for that, Allama Iqbal said, "Jahan-e taza ki afkar-e taza se hai namood, ke sang-o khisht se hote nahi jahan paida." That the new universe can be given birth to only by innovative ideas. It's not the stones and the bricks that make the new universe. So the new universe is born from new ideas, innovative ideas. Think of innovative ideas and don't be afraid. Just go try. The verse says that you won't be able to achieve what you wanted, but you would achieve other things down the road.
Thank you so much for giving your precious time to Mindset News. You are a really motivation for our youth and for youth of Pakistan and the rest of world. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.